Okay. I will start the recording. And then we can start. Yeah, so welcome to the IBC community call. Yeah, we're gonna go through updates as usual. And today, yeah, we are very happy to have Daiki and Susumu from Toki to talk about their multi-prover approach to for establishing IBC connections to EVM chains. So yeah, very excited. Looking forward to that. But yeah. Susanna, you want to start?
Yeah, I didn't have too much. Just a note that Confio will be releasing support for a couple of IBC features, asynchronous acknowledgements and CosmWasm support for the callbacks middleware, which we released last year, but it will now be supported by CosmWasm. And yeah, people in Brussels, if anyone's there wants to meet or reach out, just let me know. And I just dropped a few of the blogs from the last month if anyone wants to give them a read.
Cool, thank you. If there are no questions for Susanna, we can continue. Yeah, on the IBC Go and specs side, yeah, for our next major release, V9, we have completed the implementation of ICS 20 V2. So that's bringing support for multi-dynam packets, path forwarding, and also protobuf encoding of packet data. So right now we're just writing end-to-end tests, updating documentation, yeah, doing the final touches, but yeah, implementation-wise, we're done. Yeah, we have also arranged an audit of the feature by a Tradis partners, the same team that audited channel upgradability. So they will also audit the feature. But yeah, it's all looking very good to be able to release V9 in August. So yeah, that's the target for now. Then yeah, Stefano has been working on PR to write the spec for ICS 27 V2. Stefano is here. Maybe Stefano, if you want to talk a bit about it, like.
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. Well, this draft PR is really just the starting on this spec or the work on this spec, and basically it's taking in consideration all the discussion that have happened in the community between the various channels that we have, and the representation of entitled there to the spec that were written and that were coming out from this discussion. So it's still a work in progress, but any feedback would be really appreciated. After you can check it out.
Cool, thanks, Stefano. Yeah, the link is there. So yeah, if somebody wants to take a look. And yeah, and then on ecosystem expansion, yeah, Aditya and Serdar have been continuing their work on IBC Lite. This is the working name for a simplified IBC specification that keeps Lite client-backed security, but it removes some of the complexity of the current IBC protocol, yeah, specifically connection and channel handshakes. Yeah, so that's work that's been going on. We have like a POC with that's working between the Go and the CosmWasm implementation, so that's very promising. Yeah, and we are now starting to discuss like next steps to bring this forward. So yeah, you will hear more about it in the coming weeks or in the next community call. Yeah, and that's the update. Any questions about this? If there are no questions, then we can move to informal and the updates for IBCRS. Farhad.
Yep. Hey, everyone. At IBC Orest, there have been a few technical updates, actually. I would say some of them mostly revolves around better support of WASM wrapped client states. We recently added support for COS and WASM representation, COS and WASM contract of light clients. So because of that, we are seeing actually we're driving better support in different fronts. And some of the issues are relevant to that. For example, supporting for packing and unpacking WASM wrapped client and consensus state during connection handshakes. We've been not been supporting that, and also some of the new features relevant to better conversion of IBC events to the ABCI events, and having a support in this direction as well. We've been traditionally been supporting ABCI event conversion to IBC, now have been added to as well because of a user, one of the users' requests. This was two major updates at IBC ORES. And if you'd like to see the list of adoption of IBC ORES, now you can follow that in our README and know about more detail about what's our versioning policy. We have added some descriptions for that as well into IBC ORES. And yeah, and right now, as a work in progress, we are evaluating approaches to how it's best to accommodate changes originating from IBC Go, namely Merkle path structures is getting changed, as far as I know, from strings to bytes. So we are evaluating the situation. What's the best way to change the path definition in our end, and how it's best to support custom path as well. And yeah, that's for IBC ORES, and happy to answer any question you might have. And feel free, if your project is using IBC ORES and you're not seeing that in our README, feel free to open up issue and add your project as well.
Thank you, Farhad. Yeah. Any questions? If there are no questions, sorry, I thought that I had dropped my Zoom connection or something like that. Then we can move with the Hermes updates. Luca is not here today, but he wrote the updates. So yeah, they released V1.10 recently. There's the link there to the changelog. And yeah, they're working also on multi-hub routing. So there's a link, a couple of issues and PRs there. I don't have much context, so I'm just reading what Luca wrote. So yeah, if there are any questions about this, feel free to reach out from someone in the Hermes team. Cool. All right, then. Yeah, I think yeah, we don't have updates from the Strangelove team today.
Oh, we do. Yeah, sorry, we haven't been here for the past 2 or 3 meetings.
Sorry,
Justin's been sorry, excuse me.
I didn't see you. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, that's all good. Yeah, Justin's been on PTO, but we have a few updates this time. Also, I don't have access to this document. Actually, if one of you could re-invite me, Justin, and Andrew to this meeting invite. I had to find this meeting through some like old messages back from 2023. But
Andrew of Ventures, right? That
okay, I mean for the calendar invite.
Okay, we'll do that afterwards. Yeah, sorry.
Awesome, thank you. But on the Go relayer, we have a PR approved for redundant RPCs. So relayer operators can have multiple RPC endpoints listed, and I believe like if the first RPC fails, they'll just round robin through the others. We also had a Penumbra Protos update merged, PR merged. And then on the interchain test front, we released a new version, V8.5.0. The main feature with this release is Docker Compose support. So everything should work Dockerized now. And that's the updates from our team.
Cool, thank you. All right, then if there are no questions, we can move to the presentation. And if there are questions, we can still have some time at the end, I think. So I will stop sharing and I will allow sharing. And now, Daiki, you can share if you want.
Sure, I will. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks for giving this opportunity to present what Toki is. So Toki provides the multi-prover security approach using TEs and GKPs for IBC bridge to advance the open and secure cross-chain infrastructure for the global brilliance where the hundreds of thousands of blockchains exist. So let me start with our introductions. So we are closely working with DataChain as a core development team, and we've contributed to IBC development since 2021. So it's been 3 to 4 years since then. And we've developed IBC Solidity, and we've received grants from ICF, and we hope that we could receive the grant this year. And also we've developed light clients for various enterprise-grade blockchains such as Corda, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Base, and so forth, as well as the public blockchains like BSC and Ethereum. And right now we are working on developing the light client for the layer 2 blockchains such as Optimism and Arbitrum. And also we developed a relayer to cover the EVM-based blockchains. And also we've conducted various projects with Japanese financial institutions of course, using IBC to realize delivery versus payment or payment versus payment among different blockchains. And we've announced the partnerships with Progma, who is the stablecoin issuance platform, to help those stablecoin move around any blockchains through IBC. And not only the partnerships with financial institutions, but also are partnered with the notable Web3 teams, including the Cosmos Zones, the Layer blockchains, and the Zero Knowledge Proof Labs, and of course IBC gangs and so forth. And lastly, the first BSC and the Ethereum IBC connection will be live on testnet very, very soon, within a few weeks, and it's gonna go live within a few months. So I'm gonna touch on it a little bit more detail later on. Yeah, so of course, this is a little bit weird, but because you guys are very familiar with the IBC, but for folks over the recording, let me kick things off with this: why IBC? So why the Toki is a big believer in IBC? So we have the 3 reasons. The first one is the most comprehensive standard to define the permissionless connection and to cover any general cross-chain use cases, including asynchronous transactions. And this permissionless nature is pretty important to form the internet of blockchains, and the other bridges like wormhole, layer 0, etc. These bridges doesn't have. This is the first reason. And the second one is no vendor lock-in. So IBC is the only truly open protocol that doesn't have its token model, business model, or IPs, unlike others. Other bridges is tightly linked with their business model, token model, or even IPs. So, and each of them doesn't have any compatibility, so which is not so open protocol. And the third one is the most proven track record, especially the number of connected chains. I forgot the exact number, but IBC, maybe 80 to more than 80 blockchain is connected through IBC right now. And this number is way larger than other bridges. So this is one of the great aspect of the IBC. And these open and permissionless nature that IBC has will generate the strong developer community for in terms of the application developer and as well as this protocol, the developer, IBC developer. And this developer will generate the notable track record, and this gonna accelerate the adoption of the open protocol, which is IBC. So this only IBC can generate this positive feedback loop, and that's why IBC is about to explode everywhere, including Ethereum environment, within upcoming a few months. However, IBC is the big issue, only one big issue, which is security. The IBC equips with the light client verification model for mainly tendermint-based blockchains or compatibility-based blockchains. However, this approach is not practical for EVM-based blockchains. That's why we must find out other optimal security model while remaining the IBC properties. And these properties that we must keep are trust minimized, cost efficient, and permissionless. These three properties are key to creating the open and secure the cross-chain infrastructure. In order to establish that optimal security, we have several options like this table. And the first one is native light client approach. However, as I said, this approach is impractical for now for EVM-based environment. And the second one is full node approach with the some staking POS model. And the Xler, wormhole, layer 0, most of those the major bridges are taking this approach. And this approach is very practical and efficient in terms of gas cost, and it's scalable in the short term. However, this approach is very, very cost intensive because several dozens operators have to maintain the full node for hundreds of thousands of blockchains. So it's gonna be literally a cost intensive. And that's why the very limited number of premier nodes can operate this approach, and these premier nodes can control everything. So this approach is pulling us to the super centralized, the network topology, which is not great. And also we'll have the TE plus light client approach. So this approach is to run the light client verification within a TE. And it looks like the very cost efficient in terms of operation cost as well as gas cost. And it can keep the permissionless nature. However, it's not so scalable in the short term. And of course, the security is depend on integrity of TE. And also we have the GK proof approach. And technically, this approach is trust minimized. However, it could have the potential bugs for the near future. So in summary, no single security model can solve the problem alone. That's why we have to take some of those approach to make up each shortcomings. And we call it multi-prover security approach. And this multi-prover security approach is proposed and suggested by several teams. Of course, we are the first player or protocol to adopt this multi-prover approach for IBC bridge, but the entire blockchain, the project or trend is heading to this multi-prover security approach for enhanced, decentralized, and efficient security. And this is the high-level architecture of multi-prover security approach for IBC. As you can see, here is the LCP, Light Client Proxy, to set up this multi-prover security approach. And as you can see, we could have the TE operators as well as GKP challengers. And this TE operator will play a primary role in this structure. And each TE node has enclave light client within the enclave. By the way, we will start with the SGX first as our actual implementation. And this ELC will verify the packet from source chain and generate a proof. And this proof will be sent over to the destination chain. And the TE verifier or light client for this TE node will validate that proof. And once proof is valid, subsequent transaction will be executed. So this is the regular packet flow. And as you might know, even single TE node has enough security because SGX hasn't been exploited yet in practical. And we will set up several TE nodes, which means we could set up the even higher security. However, even if the sum of TE node become malicious and generate the tampered the transactions and send it to the destination chain. In this case, GKP challenger can detect that and generate fraud proof using GKP. And this after GKP verifier accepts the fraud proof from GKP challenger, this dispute can be settled immediately. And the misbehaved TE prover will be invalidated, and the application will be halted for a while to minimize the loss. So this is the whole structure and workflow of this multi-prover security model. And this architecture has pretty high security. And another good aspect of this LCP approach or multi-prover security approach is we can set up the multiple settings or LCP configuration depend on the requirement of each applications or each app chains. Like this, the number one is the T operators, including a challenger role, which means the T operator can play a challenger role as well. And number two is T operators plus third-party challengers. And the third one is T operators plus staking. and of course, the third-party challenges. So we can configure these settings depends on each application's demand or necessary security. And the flexible setting is brought by ultra cost efficient aspect of LCP. And this approach can avoid a super centralized digital economy, which means the limited number of bridges like Axelar 1 or Layer 0 are controlling everything. And why we can achieve this ultra cost efficient approach with LCP is that operation cost for a single LCP is very, very cheap. Because LCP is almost stateless node, unlike the full node. That's why the operation cost is very cheap. And since the LCP or T nodes or ZK proof itself has security itself, not so many LCP node is required. Maybe 1 to 9 LCP is enough to establish secure connections. And third one is staking amount and the reward are also minimized because as I said, each nodes, T nodes, GKP nodes has its security. That's why the staking amount can be optimized. So even traditional banks can run this LCP node because it's very cheap and very easy to operate. And eventually, the LCP can establish the trust minimized, cost-efficient, and permissionless security for IBC connections. And the trust minimized, cost-efficient, permissionless nature is that the native light client IBC has. The properties that native light client verification approach has. So LCP doesn't sacrifice the nature or properties of the IBC while making it practical on EVM-based blockchain environment. And of course, our final goal is the Internet of blockchains, like completely the same as Cosmos' vision. And in order to establish the Internet of blockchains, the combination of IBC with the multi-flavor security approach is essential. And this approach is going to be the future for the entire ecosystems with IBC. And on top of that, my explanation was about the transport layer or TAO layer. And of course, on top of that, we will have any applications. And we are very welcome to integrate with any third-party applications. But in order to make some corrections on our own, we will have the first-party applications, which is unified liquidity pool on top of the IBC. And the user can make any cross-chain swap for any token pairs in a single click. I guess this is going to be one of the most advanced applications as IBC applications. Currently, the most of the IBC application is based on ICS 20 or 27, NFTs one. But this is more complicated and advanced applications. So we are showing the more, some example that the IBC can support any applications. And as I said in the very beginning, we will have the testnet very, very soon with this multi-variable approach and these first-party applications. to make a cross-chain swap. And this net will go live mid-June, so maybe we will make an exact announce next week or within this week. And beta mainnet will go live around November this year as a beta mainnet for BSC and Ethereum. And then major mainnet will go live Q1 2025 to support most of the major layer 2 blockchains, including Optimism and Arbitrum. Yeah, so please stay tuned and looking forward to it. And to get the latest information, please follow our Twitter or join our Discord. And of course, we are very welcome the application users as well as application builders to integrate with Toki. Yeah, thank you very much. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you, Daiki. Yeah, if anybody has questions. No question. Maybe I have a question about the T operators. So who would be running those? It can be, yeah, like what's the idea of who would be running the T operators?
Yeah, great questions. So generally speaking, it depends on applications. But let's say in this case, the Toki will have the first-party applications. And in this case, Toki will be one of the operators. And we are trying to involve the financial institutions as operators. And also, we could have the validator set, like Chorus ones, or the premier validators, the Cosmos validators as T operators.
Okay, yeah. And what's the do you have like some comparison between the cost reduction of running, of being able to have an IBC connection with an EVA chain with this method as with maybe like a light client or something like that, a regular light client? Like what's the order of magnitude of saving or?
Yeah. So yeah, great. So we could have the two types of the cost. The first one is running the nodes, operation cost for running nodes. And the second one is the gas cost to verify the packet on chain.
Yeah.
And the first one is very, very small. Maybe the running a single node will cost less than $1,000 per month. And and the operator doesn't need to set up the dedicated team for running those nodes, which is very, very efficient. And in terms of the gas cost, sometimes if you remember the exact number, but please correct me. But it will be around 30 to 40 thousand Gwei on the Ethereum on the EVM based blockchains.
Okay.
So which is very light because actually this verification is just check the sign proof of each single T nodes. So let's say the number of the T is maybe 3. In this case, just check the 3 single signature on the Ethereum, which is very, very light.
Yeah, yeah. And you were launching like the first chain using, I mean, the first chain that we connect to Ethereum using this approach is VSC, right? And do you have already contacted other Cosmos chains to get onboarded on this to also establish a connection with Ethereum? Or?
Yeah, we are in touch with most of the major blockchains like Celestia, Neutron, Injective, Osmosis. However, we are just standing at starting point to talk with them. So if you can help us to establish the relationship with them, that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, maybe we can help somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. But so far, the most of the zones, Cosmos zones, are very interested in approach and integrated with us. So we would like to establish the true IBC connections between entire Cosmos ecosystem and the other ecosystem. Right now, maybe Accelerator, or I don't know, but maybe Accelerator is the gateway for Cosmos ecosystem, right? But that is great. But in order to establish true IBC connections between Cosmos and other environment, I guess that Toki's approach is necessary. And we could become the gateway for Cosmos.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have questions? Okay, there are no more questions then. Yeah. Somebody has a question?
Well, first of all, thanks for this presentation. I would like if you can actually to expand more the bucket flow in anomaly condition. Especially, I would like to know how do you revert, for example, the state of transaction that happened in some transaction it was included, but then proved to be fraudulent. As you basically revert the changes that happened to subsequent to other transaction that happens after this one and on top of this one.
Yeah. Let me clarify the packet flow of this anomaly condition.
Yeah.
So this at least honest one operators keep watching the state transition on the destination chain. This is the necessary prerequisite. And once some of those TEE operators will submit the tampered transactions to the destination chain, of course, the watcher can detect that transaction is that transaction. After that, the GK challenger will generate the fraud proof using GKP and submit it to the GKP verifier. And once it's valid, that is misbehaved T nodes are invalidated and the application will be halted for a while. So this is for minimizing a loss. And yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But the point is that let's say that you have two transactions. Transaction one get accepted, then you have transaction two, which is based on the result of the first transaction. Then, for some reason, we have a fraud proof for transaction one. How are you reverting what happened for transaction two, which was based on what happened for transaction one?
Yeah, so sorry to jump in here. So what Daiki mentioned about is that we cannot we cannot guarantee that in this mechanism some misbehaved T's can coordinate and make some blocks finalized on the destination chain. But the thing is that if we can provide the correct or true header from the source chain, we can stop misbehaved T's. So back to your case where you have a transaction 2 based on the result of transaction 1. The one thing is that if you can revert the result of transaction 1, then we can prevent the bad behavior with the transaction 1 and the transaction 2. But if you cannot revert the transaction 1, then transaction 2 will fail, and we need to accept the outcome of the transaction 1. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes, thanks. You're actually so accepting the loss in the case the situation happens, but then you blocks the app and
so
the
yeah,
trigger.
for minimizing the loss of misbehaved T, we need to combine the as Daiki mentioned, we need to combine other mechanisms like staking or rate limit to minimize the loss of the the malicious nodes.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's kind of you are accepting broken finality, we could say.
Yeah. But yeah, as Daiki mentioned, you need to coordinate the attacks to T in for example, if you want to successfully attack this mechanism, you need to hack into the multiple T's at the same time, which is I guess improbable, I guess.
Okay, thanks. Completely answered the question. Thanks.
So the primary verifier validator is T nodes right now, and GKP is the kind of player supporter role to minimize the loss. And of course, the T node, as the system said, it's going to be very, very, very tough to attack the multiple T nodes simultaneously. And also, as I said, we will implement this approach with SGX first, and we are working on with other TE solutions like Nitro's on the SEV. So it's gonna make this approach more secure. And of course, once the GKP improving time will get much faster and improved, of course, the primary prover will be switched from TEs to GKP in the future, but it's going to take a lot of time, maybe more than 3 to 4 years. But this multi-prover approach could be essential for long term, for the long term.
All right. Any more questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, yeah, I would like to, thank you again, Daiki, for the presentation.
Thank you very much for this opportunity again.
And yeah, we still have some time. If anybody has any other questions or topics to discuss today, this is the moment. If not, then we can, close the call. Thank you everyone for joining, and see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.